Sometimes in Ghana, you'd see an old cocoa farmer lean on his cutlass after a hard day's work and say, "The yam may be good today, but tomorrow it can rot." It's a simple reminder: success today doesn't mean we are safe tomorrow. And that's the quiet tension behind today's theme: no graven images. Judges chapter 8, verse 22 to 35.
And isn't it true? Sometimes after our greatest victories, after the breakthrough, the healing, the answered prayer, we relax just a little. Our guard comes down. We start trusting in the blessing rather than the blesser. It's a slow drift, like a canoe that quietly moves off course if the paddler stops steering. The human heart, even in triumph, is still tender to idolatry.
We see it clearly in Gideon's story. Fresh from a mighty deliverance over Midian, Israelites come to him with a tempting offer: "Be our king, you and your descendants after you." The verse 22. Can you imagine that kind of honor? But Gideon wisely refuses. He reminds them, "The Lord will rule over you." What a beautiful act of humility. In a moment where pride could have sprouted like weeds after rain, Gideon chose to bend low before God.
And yet, there's another side to the story. Gideon asks for the gold earrings captured from the enemy, and from it he makes an ephod, something meant for worship and remembrance. But over time, that ephod becomes an idol. In verse 27, the people began to worship the gift rather than the giver. Gideon, the man who tore down Baal's altars in his youth, unintentionally built a new stumbling block for his people.
It's a sobering lesson. Sometimes our greatest temptations don't come in times of failure, but in seasons of blessing. Ghanaian wisdom tells us, when the soup is sweet, that is when we must watch the spoon. In the sweetness of success, in the comfort of answered prayers, that's when idols can creep into our hearts unnoticed.
Exactly. And idolatry isn't just about statues or shrines. It's anything that starts to occupy the place of God in our affection, our trust, our obedience. It could be a business that prospers until we trust it more than Jehovah Jireh. It could be a marriage that becomes more precious than the covenant-keeping God. It could even be ministry, when the work for God replaces intimacy with God.
Notice too, after Gideon's death, the Israelites quickly returned to Baal worship. In verse 33, the ephod, the symbol they were drawn to, couldn't keep them anchored. Only living faith in the living God can do that. Without true devotion, even good things can become deadly things.
Maybe that's why Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 13 says plainly, "Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the duty of all mankind. Fear God, keep his ways. No image, no substitute, no shortcut. Just raw, reverent, relational obedience."
That's right. Let's just pause and take this before God together. Deliver me, Lord, from the bondage of every form of idol worship. Amen.
Amen. Beloved, idols don't often scream loudly. They whisper. They promise safety, control, validation, but they cannot save. Only Christ can save. Only Christ can satisfy the deep thirst in your soul.
So today, walk lightly. Watch your heart carefully. When blessings come, and they will, let them become bridges to deeper worship, not barriers to true faith. As we say in Ghana, if you find a river, remember the one who sends the rain. Never let the gifts replace the giver.
And if you find that something else has taken root in your heart, don't despair. God is merciful. Tear it down. Return. Re-anchor your heart in Him. His arms are always open for the child who comes home hungry for true bread.
True. The journey of faith isn't just about avoiding idols. It's about beholding Christ. The more you gaze on him, the less anything else will seem worthy of your worship. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your heart uncluttered. Keep your soul free for God alone. Amen.
Amen.